Her love felt real, in the silent ways first. The way she would find my hand before crossing the street, without looking. In how she recalled the way I liked my coffee, even on days when she appeared preoccupied. In how she laid her head gently against my shoulder at night, her even breathing slow and steady, as if she had at last found a spot to rest. Those moments were what my faith was built on. Small, ordinary, convincing. We met at a time in my life when I wasn't looking for anything dramatic. I'd already discovered how loud a lonely could be, how it would ring out through even the heart of a crowd. She arrived softly, like a conversation that wasn't asking anything of me. We discussed books we had never finished reading, early memories that we couldn't be certain were even real, the sort of future that seemed shapeless yet rosy. She said she'd been burned before. How guarded she was with her heart. And I read it as signs of depth, of honesty. I said I thought love was made slowly, of trust and patience. She smiled when I said that, a gentle smile that helped me feel understood. For years, it seemed like everything was in equilibrium. We didn't rush. We didn't fight much. Then, when we disagreed with one another, she would grow silent rather than mad, and I took that silence for a position of maturity. I believed that we were looking out for each other. Her phone was always face down. I didn't question it. She told me she was private, and I understood that. She had friends I hadn't met, stories that stopped halfway. I reasoned that everyone was entitled to a history, and that everything did not have to be divulged. I loved her in a steady way. Not the bright, quickly burning kind, but the kind that shows up every day. I listened. I planned. I cleared space for her fear and for her dreams. I guess when she said that I made her feel safe, I thought it meant something. But there were also moments that didn't quite land. Other times she laughed at something she received and turned the phone off rapidly. Sometimes she felt far away even when she was right beside me, staring at something I couldn't see. I'd ask her if everything was all right, and she'd always respond, "Yeah." Always smiled. Kissed my cheek like a period at the end of a sentence. I also had to start ignoring the low-grade discomfort in my chest. Love, I assured myself, was trust. Trust meant simply not asking the questions you feared most. The first split came on an average night. No arguments. No tension. Just the two of us on the couch, the room illuminated by the television's muted glow. She'd gone to take a shower and left her phone on the table. It buzzed once. Then again. I didn't move at first. I wasn't attempting to violate her privacy. I wasn't suspicious. But when the screen lit up, the name seized me. I didn't recognize it. All that I recognized was the excerpt of the message. "I miss you. Today felt incomplete without you." It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't explicit. That's what made it dangerous. I reassured myself it could be anything. A friend. A coworker. Someone harmless. But my body, before I could even calm it down with my mind, my blood began racing. Not with anxiety, but with a heavy, dull certainty. I didn't say anything when she returned. I watched her instead. Saw how she reached for her phone, how she reacted when the notification came through, how quickly she typed and then closed it. That night she either held me closer or I wasn't as freed. And I didn't know if it was guilt or fear or nothing at all. The signs got louder over the coming weeks. She grew more protective of her phone. Worse when she noticed I was seeing her. She began to talk in terms of how I'm just overwhelmed and I need space, but the space didn't really feel empty. It felt occupied. I asked her straight up one night, my voice perfectly reasonable while my hands were shaking. I inquired whether there was another. She looked offended, hurt even. She told me she didn't believe I thought that. She said she picked me every day. She started crying and I apologized for not believing her. It was the first time I ever lied to myself for her peace of mind. The truth didn't just come all at once. It arrived in parts, like a jigsaw puzzle I didn't want to solve. An errant message was sent to the wrong chat. A name mentioned, too casually. A story that varied a little each time you heard it. Each detail alone was explainable. Collectively, they were becoming something I could not ignore. I did the thing I told myself I would never do one night while she was sleeping. I looked through her phone. What I discovered wasn't simply proof of another human being. It was proof of another life. There were messages going back months, discussions full of love, in jokes, mutual frustrations. Words I had believed to be ours, freely given to another. She confided in him her fears, her dreams, the truths she never told me. She said she felt more alive with him. She told him she loved him. And then I read the sentence that shattered something inside me beyond salvage. I love him, but you're the one my heart comes home to. I sat in the dark, her breathing steady next to me, and felt my grasp of our whole relationship give way. Her love had seemed real because fragments of it were real, just not for me in the way I had thought. I wasn't her choice. I was her stability. He was excitement, escape, desire. I was consistency, safety, where she lay down when the other world tired her out. The next morning, I confronted her. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I just asked her to tell me the truth. She cried again. She said it wasn't planned, that it just happened, that she never intended to hurt me. She said she loved us both, in different ways, as though that made it any more kind. She told me I meant something to her. The word, important, weighed more than any insult. I asked her why she'd stayed with me if she was still in love with another person. She told me that she didn't want to lose me, that I was good to her, that I made her feel secure. I realized then that it was not who I was that she loved. It was about what I provided. Leaving didn't happen dramatically. No one had screamed. No door was slammed. Just a quiet unraveling. Even as I packed, I felt sluggish and dull, though not entirely the same. She looked at me, not sure if she should try to hold me back or let me go. She asked if we could continue to speak, if we could still be friends. I said I couldn't be a reminder of a love that was never quite mine. The weeks after were heavy. Grief isn't always loud. Sometimes it sits with you while you make your coffee, while you drive the well-worn roads, while you go to reach for the text, and remember there's no one left to text. I questioned everything. What is curious to me is how I missed the signs. Wondered if I wasn't enough. Wondered if I was foolish to love her the way I did. Slowly, though, clarity replaced pain. I knew that true love will not split so conveniently. It doesn't demand that one person settle while pursuing another. It does not rob safety from one heart and passion from another. Her love seemed real because she needed it to be real for both of us. But love that's meant for you doesn't leave one fighting with someone they never agreed to battle anyway. I learned that being picked completely isn't too much. That reliability minus truthfulness isn't loyalty. And such peace built on lies is no peace at all. Months later, I heard she got him. Or perhaps he too ultimately left. The details didn't matter. What was important was that I wasn't his second chapter side character for being the third wheel in a story that already ended. I began to practice choosing myself in small moments, saying no when something didn't feel right, learning to trust the discomfort rather than suppress it. The recognition that love ought not to demand self-erasure. But her love did teach me something invaluable even if I never really had it. It taught me that the right love isn't confusing. It doesn't leave you feeling worthless. It doesn't halfway inhabit the land of shadows. And when it's real, it's not for someone else.